Coming up in this Flirtini, we have certified personal stylist Rae Raire on the show as we explore the intersection of style, self-expression, community, and validation. How might we blend all of these topics together, you may ask? Well, this is Flirtations, and we work magic over here, y'all. We're going to be looking at how we often dress for them, people, or at least wonder what people might be thinking about how we look. We can become hyper-focused on what someone thinks. Yeah, and even though it is very human to do so, how might we change this habit? Stay tuned for a conversation about the power of fashion and shaping energy, perception, and self-confidence, and why what we wear can help us make friends, find dates, and even strengthen connections. If you've ever struggled with feeling like you need to change yourself, this episode is for you. Let's do this, flirties.
I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. I heard you wanted to flirt. Hello, my name is Benjamin. I'm the flirt coach and a gay Libra. Everyone has an inner flirt.
Hey, Flirty.
Live, laugh, flirt.
Work the flirt.
Work the flirt. Delulu is the Salulu. Expert on the flirt.
Hey, Flirty. There's always another flirt.
Everyone has an inner flirt. Get out of your head and into the flirt.
Flirties, today on the show, we're going to be dressing for confidence, not validation, with our guest, Rae, a personal stylist and content creator. Hello and welcome, Rae.
Hi, Benjamin. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on Flirtations today. It's nice to see you again.
It's good to see you too. It's been a while since we worked together.
It has been a while. I'll have some things listed in the show notes here. I mean, many things, but also the live that we did a while ago on personal style and confidence and how to just, I think, really tap into your own energy as a creative person when you're putting some clothes on.
Exactly. Yeah.
But since then, you've taken a new direction with your work. Before we get into the styling questions today, I want to hear about this perhaps new endeavor, how you would describe it.
Yeah, so I previously was working with clients doing personal styling, but I really wanted to get more into content creation and talking more about something I'm really passionate about, which is really how our inner is made outer through the way that we dress, the way that we do our hair, the way that we express ourselves in these kind of nonverbal ways, because I think our emotions and our beliefs and, who we're here on earth to be, all of that is connected with how we're presenting ourselves outward. So I just think that's such like an interesting connection to explore.
Yeah, I think so too. And how long have you been in fashion and styling?
5 years now.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I started during the pandemic actually. So coming up on 5 years this year.
Yeah. And are you seeing some parallels or have some things like experiences from, I'll say, maybe your previous work? Have they come into your maybe new, how would you describe it, new outlook or new approach to styling?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, even when I was working with clients, I was very focused on the emotional side of things of like, what is holding you back beyond just not knowing your style? Because there were things about, maybe beliefs that they had from their childhood or feeling like they couldn't wear certain things because of the roles that they have in their life and kind of trying to overcome those emotional barriers that were also holding them back, in addition to just not knowing how to dress themselves or not knowing how to dress the way that they want to dress.
All right. That's really interesting. And that's where we're going to be spending the majority of the conversation today. I'll have some of our previous work linked here. As I teased, we've talked about in the past, like, how to find your signature color or, what color to wear on a first date or dressing for a first date. Some of those questions we've gotten into. But today I really want to, talk about this emotional connection perhaps between our style, how we dress, how we present ourselves to the world. And it's really interesting you're sharing some of these beliefs that can come up that maybe prevent us from really dressing in a way that feels right or authentic. Yeah. What do you What do you got? What do you think about that?
I think a lot of it comes from our childhoods. We need this external validation to stay alive, and to be connected to our caregivers and stuff, and also to be accepted by our peers. And so we go into adulthood still kind of feeling those same things about ourselves that, I can't be my true self because I'm going to be rejected. And, even, I guess even going back further than that, like we survived in tribes. And so there's like this kind of like animalistic instinct that, oh,
Yeah.
if I am rejected, I'm going to die. And so maybe your body's still like interpreting it that way. And it's just like in the modern day, it's not that serious. I think that's interpreted in the way that you dress and present yourself, that you don't want to be rejected.
Yeah.
So there is that fear in that.
Yeah, I think what I feel like I'm hearing you describe are these two experiences where first I want to say we're talking, I mean, some external validation, you want a compliment or two. You want to
Yes.
external validation in and of itself isn't inherently bad or wrong. We live in a world where it's like, yeah, you want to do the post, the story, wear the outfit, whatever, to catch your crush's eye, or, you're looking for a
Right.
compliment kind of thing. All good. But when that becomes the whole reason behind your decisions and your actions, that's where I think you're really setting yourself up to be rejected a lot, or you're really setting yourself up to just maybe not have such great experiences. But what you, I think,
Exactly.
were sharing were this one experience where we dress because we want to fit in. This is like when we're in school, or, you want to fit in with whoever, your friend group or the popular group, or you want to be accepted. And so you're looking to dress like maybe everyone else, or like a particular group of people, or like a celebrity or an icon or someone you look up to whose style you emulate. So I think that's part of it. And then there's this other part where I think we dress for the gaze of the people we're looking to attract out there dating.
Yes.
Which is fine. But do you really feel good in that? Is that this kind of natural expression of your maybe style, your sexuality, your personality, or are you doing it just because you feel like you have to?
Exactly. There's nuance to it, because it's like you do want to be attractive, but are you even attracting the type of person that you want? Are you feeling good about yourself, or are you just thinking about, like you said, like the gaze of the other person? So you really, I think, finding that balance of the external validation, but also making sure that you have enough internal validation that if you were to get rejected, if that person wasn't attracted to you, that you still feel that confidence in yourself that you're going to be okay, and that, you're worthy, that you're not a terrible person. You're not horribly unattractive just because somebody else, didn't find you attractive.
Exactly. So how can we start to, using this new approach or framework, develop a personal style for ourselves? Yeah. What does that mean? What does that maybe look like?
So I really think it starts with, kind of parsing through your beliefs about yourself and seeing which ones you want to keep and maybe which ones you want to replace. I would also say, what parts of yourself are you wanting to express with your personal style? And maybe starting to experiment with different things, or finding different inspiration that you're like, that really speaks to me, and seeing how you can make it work for your body, with your colors, with your lifestyle. Because that's a big thing too. I think a lot of people, they see something, they're like, oh, that looks awesome, but then they're not really able to like extrapolate it to their lifestyle and what's actually going to work for them. So I always am a proponent for starting slowly and doing that inner work and kind of experimenting slowly, so that you're not just buying a whole new wardrobe and then you're like, oh no, this isn't working for me.
Right. Yeah. Something that's coming to mind and something I've been playing with is this idea that our life is one big piece of art.
Yes.
We've got to flirt with all of it in all the ways that are available to us. So something as simple as how you make the bed in the morning, or maybe how like you fix your coffee. Am I going to do it this way, or put this in first, or this? Oh, how am I doing it? Right? Am I rushing, just moving through everything quickly, or am I taking a little bit more time? Right? So bringing some perhaps mindfulness into the experience. And then when it comes to your style, this is something I feel like I have been doing in my life lately, and it's so much fun. But I'll be honest, Rae, sometimes I feel a little bit ridiculous.
Why is that?
I'm not sure. It's sometimes I wonder, oh, what is someone thinking? Or am I maybe not dressing appropriate for my age? Sometimes I think I'm going to be 40 this year. But like what I like to play with my fashion and my style when I go to my shifts at Trader Joe's. And so I like have all of these. I recently got into suspenders.
Oh, yes. I love that.
So I've been doing suspenders. Next, I want to play with a bow tie. I've got different belts. Sometimes I do my shirt tucked, untucked. I play with different colors and color blocking. Sometimes I do hat, no hat. I maybe do my mustache a different way, or like I just try and play with it. Jewelry, all the different ways that I can just have fun, play with, and flirt with my style.
Right. Well, when I hear you say that, my response or question to you would be like, where did you get this idea of what a 40-year-old should dress like? That comes from somewhere, and that would be something for you to work through that is holding you back from really being able to like fully embrace this and like fully enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because you have the desire. So obviously, like, you're turning 40 and this is what you want to wear, then this is what a 40-year-old dresses like. But there's some belief that you've internalized that, oh, I need to be more serious or I need to dress my age. But I personally don't believe in that. It's dressing how you feel.
Yeah. And I think something that's coming to mind now is sometimes we just want to fit in. That's fine. That's all good. But sometimes, Rae, I want to spice it up a little bit. I want to
Absolutely.
I want to do something different.
Every single day is different as well. It's like I'm not dressing, all the way up into my style every single day because sometimes I'm in a more chill mood or I'm going somewhere where I don't want to stand out. And I think that's okay too. And that is part of the personal style is kind of having the spectrum that you can do based on how you're feeling every day.
How can we, and this is so true because recently I'm thinking of my outfits I wore this week. Like one, I went with I call it my jock look. I do all black with the shorts, with like the knee-length socks, black shoes, but then the baseball cap backwards. That's my jock look. And I was just like, I was just feeling in a jock mode that day. So that was my mood. How can we honor our feelings, the different moods we're in when it comes to the way we dress?
So when I was helping clients kind of figure out their personal style, I would have them choose style words, but they're more like umbrella terms where it's kind of like, oh, if I had to describe my style, this will be the umbrella term, but then there's like a lot of things underneath it. And so, you can have different types of styles underneath that still speak to you. But you can find ways to weave them together. If it's like having a certain color palette or there's certain like cuts of sleeves and things like that, there's like common threads throughout your style. Even if there is, different sections of it, there's still something about it that's like weaving it together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm thinking now about this experience I think many of us have had where it's like maybe you're in a not great mood, but then you put on something, a jacket or your clothes or your makeup or your hair. Like I think style and fashion can put us in, like it can change the way we feel about ourselves.
Oh, 100%. And I think, that even to the point of like internal validation, doing those things that make you feel good about yourself and make you feel like you're worthy to show up wherever you're going can help you to build that internal validation, to help you build that self-worth and how you feel about yourself and changing your mood day to day, especially if you're feeling depressed or you're feeling anxious, whatever it is that can help ground you in yourself.
All right, let's talk about, because you were sharing earlier sort of this interplay between our internal and external worlds, right? How we see ourselves versus how others see us, and how we show up with our fashion, our clothes, just our physical aesthetics can really impact that. So maybe, the word that's coming to mind is authenticity.
Right.
I mean, it's so buzzy. We're going to talk about it on Flirtations today. So how can we tap into our authenticity when it comes to our style? What does that even mean? I
mean, that's definitely a buzzword with personal style, like making you feel authentic. But for me personally, it's really just like figuring out how to clear the noise of what is expected of you, or like we were talking about earlier, like what you feel like you should wear because of your role in life or your age or whatever it is, like clearing away those expectations and all the rules and everything, and like getting to the core of you and like understanding who you really are on the inside, away from all of those things, and how you want to express it outward. And, there are some people, they might not want to, I guess I should say, like, they want to express something that maybe they feel like they're lacking. So for me, I feel like I'm an introverted person, but I started wearing bright colors, and that really helped to like bring me out of my shell a little bit and feel more comfortable talking to people. Even that is like helping with your authenticity of like who you want to be. You can do that through your personal style.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Now I'm thinking about how I've really been gravitating towards, like, I used to wear solids or just plaids, kind of, I'll say like standard prints you'd find, pretty mainstream. And now I'm like really, I'm being drawn to brighter colors, to bolder prints, like a lot of florals or mosaics or something like that. Like, in my closet right now, there's a lot of Yeah, a lot of print. Yeah.
Why do you think that is? What do you, I guess I should say, what do you feel like that's doing for you? Like when you wear those, how are you feeling and how are you interacting with people? Do you feel like you're flirtier or, yeah, explain a little bit about that.
I definitely feel like I'm flirtier. What's coming to mind is I feel like for so long I dressed in a way that I wasn't exactly trying to fit in, but at the same time, I didn't want to stand out. I
Yeah.
didn't really want to be noticed. And so I dressed, I feel pretty, maybe conservatively is the word, but fairly mainstream in my style choices, if that's a way to describe it.
Right.
I just didn't really want to draw attention to myself because that's just where I was at with my mindset and just how I didn't really like myself. So, right, why would anybody else like me? I didn't really want to even give someone that opportunity. Yeah, and now like I'm coming out of my shell. I'm embracing some different styling choices, and it's a form of self-expression. Like it's not exactly will they like me in this? It's how do I feel in this? Do I like the way I feel in this? And when I come at it from that perspective, it's freaking fun.
Exactly. And I think that's like the key to authenticity of like, are you having a good time? Are you feeling excited about wearing these things?
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. What do you think about trends? Like, should we, is there something to it? Should we be paying attention to the trends, or does that maybe influence or hinder our own authenticity?
So this is definitely a nuanced topic and everyone has different opinions on it.
Yeah.
I personally do not think that following trends every single season is good for personal style. I think it's going to do the opposite because you're constantly relying on somebody else to tell you what you should be wearing in order to be accepted. But then I do think that there are like more macro trends that are good to keep your style feeling fresh and updated and, still feeling like you're, I don't want to say accepted, but like, just feeling modern, I guess. So like maybe wearing the style of jeans that's in because that's not such like a micro trend, that those trends last a little bit longer, or like your shoes, that's something that you can wear for a couple years and still be in. So it's not that you have to completely reject trends to have personal style, but I just don't think that following all the micro trends that are pushed on social media, especially in short form content, those are not going to help you find your personal style. So you really can be somewhere in the middle. And also, once you understand your personal style, you can also see what trends you're like, oh, I really love this. And I can see myself wearing it even when it's not on trend.
Yeah.
Or, it's like, oh, I don't really like this. It's just popular right now. So
Amazing. How often do you think our personal styles change? Do you think we kind of go through eras, or do maybe we have those pieces in our closets that are standard, like our favorite pieces that we go to over and over again?
I do think that personal style evolves. I think there might be certain things that kind of stay with you through the evolution, but at least for me, like when I turned 30, for some reason, it was just like, oh, I don't feel like I'm connecting to the clothes that I was wearing in my 20s. I just felt like I was changing as a person. So I don't think that there's like a certain number of years that every 10 years you're going to want to change your style, but maybe it's, as you grow as a person, you're going to feel less connected to certain things in your closet and want to shift in different ways.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. And now we got to talk a little bit about how someone can, we've been talking about it this whole conversation, how the flirties can develop a personal style. Is it a matter of finding a few colors that you feel like you look really good in? Is it about finding cuts that work with your body type, or like how we can start to, develop a personal style?
Yeah. So, as I said, I would start with the emotional things and see like where you're holding yourself back. But then also another good starting point is like starting with what is in your closet and trying to find like pattern recognition of, okay, I really love this type of sleeve, or I really love these colors, and keeping those as kind of common threads in your style, I think is helpful. And obviously, like you can go explore other things, but you're going to get a lot of information from what's already in your closet. You know what you're wearing and what you're not wearing. And so then it's like, okay, well, I need to buy more of this type of stuff that I'm wearing, or I need to find a few pieces that are going to work with the stuff that I already have that I like. You can also get on like Pinterest or another app where you can see other photos of what other people are wearing and be inspired by those things. But yeah, it's a lot of experimentation, and I definitely say take it slow instead of just trying to like buy your personal style, because that's not going to get you very far. It's going to be exciting because the clothes
Yeah.
are new, but then, it takes time to develop that personal style and really understand what you like and what feels like you.
Yeah. All right. And we talked about this a little bit in a past collaboration because the economy, it's rough for some of us out there.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes we feel like we really lean into consumerism when we go shopping, whether it's in person, online, and we just accumulate and buy. But I think if I'm remembering some of the strategies you shared in the past about maybe repurposing some things that are already in your closet, or just getting like one new pair of jeans that really it's all your tops, or you have a lot of tops that you like, but it's just about getting a new bottom or a new pair of shoes, going thrifting, doing some swaps with friends and things. And so I think it's like probably a lot of the basics you've already got.
Exactly. And you probably do have some things that you do love and you wear them over and over. And so then it's like, okay, what can I add in that's going to work with those? And really, like, I love the idea of thrifting. I thrift pretty much my whole wardrobe, and like,
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think swapping is really cool too, because there's like more character to those clothes. There's a story of like, oh, I got it at this place. It's not just like I got this on Shein and that's it, and it's going to break in 3 times. Not that, I know there are people that have to shop at those places.
Sure.
But, if you're able to thrift and you're able to swap with people, it gives more character to the clothes. You kind of have a story for where you got them, which I think adds to the specialness and kind of that connection to your clothing. That's a little deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's like I get compliments on these 2 pieces that I have. I feel like kind of a lot. One is a pair of thrifted denim shorts that are cut off. They've got the loose threads, right? It's just a really nice fit. They've got some of that darker gold stitching. It's just a really cool pair of denim shorts I thrifted for, I'm going to say maybe $20. So not cheap, but it's a staple in my closet, and I wear, and I have one. Like, I have a pair of denim jeans, I don't need 20. Another pair is, I just got a pair of dark denim jeans, and I'll say they're from the Gap, and I got them on sale, 50% off. They were like $25-$30, something like that. So nothing crazy, but that is like my go-to pair of jeans that just fit me. They look good, and I get compliments on those.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And I think, and to the point of like not trying to buy your personal style, like letting it happen like that. You're buying it every so often. You're finding these things, and it's like almost serendipitous. That's a really cool way to build your personal style as well. And just having those pieces that you love so much and you wear over and over. And I'm sure that people can tell you feel confident in those as well, which probably adds to the point that you're getting compliments on them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cause I used to be the buyer, the shopper that would just, I wanted all the options. Like, if I had all the options, if everything was there, it did a little bit for my anxiety in the buying process, but then in the selection process of dressing myself, I would be completely overwhelmed and ultimately just pick the same things over and over.
I was about to say that. I was like, people think that having more clothes, more options is going to make it easier to get dressed, but it's actually going to be way overwhelming. And you're going to just end up sticking with the same things instead of being able to mix and match with those things that you love and find new combinations. And that's like the true creativity, not just having a ton of clothes.
Yes. All right. We've been talking a lot about clothes. When it comes to personal style, I think there's jewelry, hair, makeup, accessories, all kinds of things. So I want to get, your perspective on all of that a little bit.
Yes. So I'm definitely more on the like less is more side for accessories. I have like several pairs of earrings. I wear the same rings every day. I have tattoos. So obviously those are there all the time. And I feel like those can really be like staples or kind of these like signatures for your personal style. It's like when people see me, they know I'm probably going to have on a big pair of earrings. They know I'm going to have on these rings. And so, it really does become like that signature in your style. But of course, on the opposite end of things, you could also use that as a way to freshen up your style if you want to be more like trendy with your accessories. That's another way that you could, kind of keep it fresh. Same thing with your haircuts and your, your makeup. Those are things that you can kind of update more frequently. And maybe your clothes, you're not buying as much, but you're playing with those other things and expressing yourself with those. So definitely a big part of personal style, definitely a big part of fashion, and that creativity that way.
I love it. And that's something I do all the time, at least with my hair. I am always switching up my haircut, which is kind of a little bit of a no-no in the content creation world, because then it means even if your messages are evergreen, your look is not consistent across videos. And so
the hair theory.
If I wanted to repost something from a year ago, I don't look like that.
Yes, exactly. When I started styling, I was bald. I had a buzz cut, and now my hair is this long. So I know what you mean. I've looked very different in a lot of videos.
Yeah. Every now and then I'll do like a Throwback Thursday and I'll get a comment inevitably, "Oh, you cut your hair. It looks so good." No, it's just old.
No, this is old.
As we were setting this up, I wanted to talk about community building and how oftentimes I feel like our style, our fashion can not only help us make connections, maybe even serve you in the flirt, but often indicate that you're a part of a community, or they indicate a belief or something like that. And so I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I have several thoughts on that. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is there's a lot of talk about and I used to be guilty of this too, like this individuality in your personal style and that you need to be super unique. But also it's like we are in communities with people, like we're parts of groups. And I think it's okay to take inspiration from those groups or to signal that you're part of these groups through the way that you're dressing. And so there is kind of this community part of personal style. And it doesn't need to be hyper individualistic for it to be valid or for you to have good style. And the other part of that, I think, a lot of people, they don't dress the way they want to because they're afraid of rejection or that people aren't going to like them. But the other side of the coin is that there are going to be people that are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I love so-and-so." And you start talking and you can form friendships through the way that you dress. And, there are people that are going to accept you for who you are. So even though there is that fear, there's the other side of the coin where there is this excitement that somebody might accept you for who you really are and is looking for a friend like you, is looking for a partner like you, and has been waiting for you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I mean, I think so many flirties will relate to what you just said. And certainly the queer flirties who maybe felt like they had to dress a certain way to fit in, or they didn't want to draw attention to themselves, and they weren't able to express who they are through their fashion, through their hair, or something about their physical appearance. And now they can, or at least I hope they're in a phase of their life where they can express themselves in that way. They can dye their hair, they can wear the shirt or wear whatever. It could be anything. As we were talking about, personal style is really a form of self-expression. I think this is part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know it can be difficult for queer people, especially ones that live in the South or like more conservative areas. They feel like they have to fit in, but hopefully they're able to, even in little ways, to express that queerness and to attract, their people, whether it be romantic or platonic.
Absolutely. And there was a time, and maybe you're still in that time, where you did have to dress even for survival because you didn't want to draw attention to yourself. And so, we recognize those experiences, but we hope this conversation is empowering, and maybe you flirt with your fashion a little bit. And I was even thinking about something as small as a pen. Like, I think a lot of us are not, I don't know. I see them around wearing the rainbow pen. Or something like that, or if it's a Black Lives Matter or something like that has taken on such a political connotation because it's been politicized. But what that really means to me is someone saying, "You're safe here." What they're saying is, "I see you, I value you, I'm not going to judge you. You're safe with me." And I think our fashion and our style, I think it can give that same message or that same impression that, you know what? Yeah, if you wanted to come over and talk about being gay, we could do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even if it's that small little thing like saying "I'm here," even in those times when you couldn't fully, I know there's been so many times in histories where there's just been little tiny signs, but still using that fashion, that signal of like, I'm here and I'm safe, like you said. That's so powerful.
Yeah, like I'm thinking about there's a few people that do this at work. Maybe I should start doing this. But they wear a rainbow pen. And I think about every time I see that there is, I'm sure, one person that comes into the store every day that isn't out, that is maybe in a not so great living situation or household, that is struggling with their own just internal world of who they are. And having that just visual signifier, I feel like if I were in their shoes, it would just make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too.
Yeah, I think our fashion and style, it gives validation that's a theme coming up today. It gives validation to others' lived experiences as maybe they're coming into their own personhood, identity. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yes. I did talk about that in a video recently about, you can be the change, you can be the inspiration to other people who might be feeling the same things as you. It's like, you don't need to wait for the world around you to change before you start dressing a certain way. You can do that. And then other people might say, oh, I want to start dressing differently, or like, oh, I want to start dressing nicer than I am. Yeah. And so you really can kind of start that domino effect in your community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like I didn't come up with the suspenders. I didn't. There was another crew member that has been wearing suspenders. And so I went up and I said, Riley, because we talk about a few different things. And I was like, Riley, I'm really inspired. Could I wear suspenders one day? Where did you get those? And Riley was like, yeah, please. Like, I'd love for you to wear suspenders. And so now I'm like, whenever I wear them, he's the first person I think of. I'm like, oh, please let Riley be here today so we can bond over suspenders.
Yes. And that's like the community aspect of style right there too. It's like, you're always going to be connected to this person through those suspenders. And like, that's so neat.
Exactly. Oh, all right. One more question here as we start to conclude the conversation. I wanted to talk about self-trust, really kind of coming full circle, bringing it on home, where our style can be a way for us to learn to trust ourselves, or even to fall in love with ourselves for the first time or in new ways. And so I want to get your perspective on self-trust as a part of this conversation.
Yes. So, there's just so many people who I feel like they're scared to trust themselves, and they're always asking other people, should I wear this? Should I do this? Should I make this life decision? And really, style is such like in the big scheme of things, it's inconsequential. Like, you're not hurting anyone, you're not doing anything wrong. And so it's an easy way to start saying, like, do I like this? Do I want to wear this? Do I want to do this with my hair? And starting to slowly trust yourself, and eventually building up to those bigger decisions where you feel confident that you can make the right decision without having somebody else tell you that what you're doing is right or wrong. I just think it's such a tool to trust yourself, to feel validated in yourself, to have and grow your self-esteem. It's something that doesn't hurt anyone else. It's something that is truly just yours to control.
Yeah. Oh, that was so beautiful. Yeah. I mean, allow yourself to be seen.
Exactly. Yeah. Allow yourself to believe that you're worthy enough to be seen as well.
Yeah. And why not do it through what you wear, how you do your hair, your makeup, or your jewelry? Flirt with it all. It's so
make it fun. Exactly.
Gosh, ain't that the truth? Rae, this has been really, really fun. Any final thoughts before we conclude the conversation today?
I don't think so. I've loved this conversation. This has been so awesome.
Amazing. I can't wait to debut. If you're listening to this right now, Flirties, it's out. It's debuted. All right. I want to send the Flirties your way. I think you're really active on YouTube.
Yes, I'm only on YouTube now.
Okay. Fantastic. Oh, good. Good. I got that right. What is your username on the YouTube?
It is just Rae Raire. So RaeRaire.
Amazing. I will have your YouTube linked in the show notes for this episode. Flirties, go check out Rae for more on all the topics that we talked about today. More full-length videos on YouTube.
Thank you so much, Benjamin.
All right. Thank you, Rae. All right, Flirties, that's a wrap on this episode of Flirtations. This Flirtini number 14 of the show. Thank you so much to our guest, Rae Raire, for coming on the show and sharing a lot of good information, insight, and wisdom with us, not just about personal style and fashion, but how our just overall aesthetics, our style, right? Hair, makeup, jewelry, all the things, clothing, yes, shoes, all of it really can help us not only create connections, but build community, recognize community, and get to know one another on a little bit of a different level, an energetic level, a fashion level, perhaps. Really interesting to explore these themes with Rae Raire. If you're looking for some more, takes on fashion in this way, and you'd like to follow Rae, please head on over to YouTube. Their link will be here in the show notes for the episode. And I'd love for you to check out their YouTube channel. All right, Flirties, that's going to do it for me here at Flirt Headquarters. My name is Benjamin. I'm the Flirt Coach and Gay Libra, wishing you a great day and, of course, happy flirting.